Dungeon Doom Hands.
Well,
Let's
it's like
talk
New York on
lore.
steroids.
A podcast.
It's like New York on steroids. It's like
New York if they're all dwarves.
and gnomes, and they're like only into information. Welcome back. We are discussing. This is now going to be episode, if I'm doing my math right, because last time was 10. This is episode 11. We are now going to be talking about the specifics of Trigard, and we are going to be building that using our map on our virtual tabletop on Tabletop Simulator, which we'll click into in just a moment. But to recap from previous, Trigard was and is a massive city full of dwarves, or it's a mecca, and it's based around knowledge and trade. That's pretty much the bone structure of the thing that we've came up with. Chris had some. Here we go. Here's the virtual tabletop. So Chris had some input that there should be a lot of markets. Now, I looked up online for some inspiration as to how to exactly build a map, a city, a town, a village, and I came across one website that showed me a way to do it, and it's to have a set of dice that represents your D4 would represent marketplace districts, D6 would be quest hooks, D8s would be encounters, D10s would be like religious buildings, sort of cults maybe or something like that. But not. I would imagine a city like this large is not going to be necessarily cults, but then you have a D12 for parliament buildings like castles. This one says either 1 or 2. Let's roll real quick. 1d4. 1 and 2 is going to be 1 parliament building, and then 3 or 4 will be 2. What the hell was that? It's a 3.
No, it's a 4.
Hey, it's a 4. So there's going to be it's the bottom number.
Yeah, it's one of those weird die.
So there will be 2 parliament buildings. 2. Okay. Now, what it was saying was to take these and mix them up as much as possible, and to throw them out, and then you draw your circle around it, and that's the map of the city. And then you build from there. So I will screenshot that once we're done, but we don't have to. We don't need to plug in buildings like right away, but we can just talk about it. But Chris, you had something that you were saying before we started that I wanted to address. I wanted to let you talk about before we went into this, because it's a good idea.
Well, we're just going off of this preset for a large city, and I was thinking, well, if we're going to skew these numbers in any way, what these dice are, it is the biggest trade hub on the entire world. So you would think there would be more markets, more of these marketplace districts of some sort. So maybe throw a couple more in there.
Yes. All right. So what do you think?
I say 2 more add same amount as the other D6s and D8s.
All right. So 6.
I think you're good.
All right. So let's just mix these up the best we can. You want to give the first? How about this? Can you highlight?
Alternate throws.
Can you highlight all of them? Yes, you can. Let's throw them all.
You get half, I get half.
Oh, I like that. Okay. I'm just going to take the top like that. And I'm going to throw this. That's hilarious. Okay. And we'll do it. We're going to do it twice, though, right? Or we're going to do it once?
We're going to do it once, I thought, right?
Okay. I'm going to take this.
I'm okay with doing it twice.
All right. Well, let's see how it lands out.
Oh, no, we're going opposite sides.
Yeah. I think I'm going to release it at the... we'll see how it goes.
Oh, I hope I release it properly.
Hold on 1 second. Let me zoom down so we can get the
oh, yeah, I'm from above.
That's so funny. Okay. All right. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Whoa, I got some far ones.
Yeah, I feel like we might need to roll one more time.
We could re-roll this whole center batch.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to highlight mine. Yeah, you can roll. That's fine.
No, it's just
maybe one person rolls here. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Maybe it does do it. Tabletop does do gravity really well. There we go. Let's spread those out. There you go. All right. Let's
That
put in
works.
these. Yeah. You know what? I think that's fine. All right.
There,
So
there are going to be things on the edge of the city.
yes.
And a counter on a market.
All right. So what it was saying was, now you take this, and I'm going to move these in just a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move this guy in a little bit too. Okay. What it was saying was, now you take this and you just draw your outline of the city, and this is roughly what the map would look like. So that's the borderline. So I would say that, and I'm going to change colors here. How do I do that? Here we go. I'm going to say that because this is a straightaway, this side here is going to be those cliffs.
The mountains.
And the mountains are going to be here.
Oh, okay.
All right. Which means
actually, this lines up almost perfectly with the map.
Yes, that's what I was.
So there is that one jut out.
Right.
With a nose, and that's right here.
Yes.
That's
this area. The main port, and this is going to be the sea, where they're afraid of the
Kraken.
The Kraken, and that means that jut out is going to be
there.
Can you draw that? You want to draw that? Can you draw that? Hey, there he is. All right, cool. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to
pull one of these.
What's that? Is that a Kraken?
Oh wait, no, it's backwards.
So what do we have here? So we got. Let's just review this real quick, and then we'll go back to the main. We'll get away from this map and talk about what we think. So all right. So
north south now
from the sea. So you got 1, 2, 3. You got 3 main markets coming from the seaport, the main sea, where ships are coming in. Which is cool. I like that because that means that a lot of stuff is coming from the sea. Maybe the one in the middle might have, who knows? And who knows who they're controlled by.
Let's circle these, just so I don't lose them.
Yeah, circle them green for the markets. That's a good idea.
And then we got a market up top, up here, I think, right?
D4s. Okay, so now you got 3. Oh, you got competing markets. That's interesting. So you got 1 and 2 and 3. So you got 3. Yes. Cool. All right. So you got your main market areas, which is cool.
Well, that makes sense. You have 3 close together here and 3 close together there.
Now maybe the ones we'll see. Maybe the ones that over here to the sea, and maybe ones over here going to the underground, and maybe there's Now, do you know how to change colors? All right, so let's do now the quest hooks. Quest hooks are going to be D6. That's going to be funny for me to populate, but quest hooks don't have to necessarily be.
They could be locations for quest hooks we already have.
They could also be bars. They could also be a science lab. They could be, so I can use those to.
Let's go yellow.
Fill in. I can use some NPCs that we've had before to just help me fill those in. So those are going to be, the quest hooks are going to be D6s. Yes. So I think the way that this works out is that the quest hooks aren't necessarily like a knight standing there with a map to some treasure. The quest hook is going to be the knight's training camp, that he has a treasure map there, perhaps, but it's the location that he's at. So those are the quest hooks.
Yeah, so that's a nice scatter throughout the city.
That's really cool.
A bunching around the markets.
Then you have encounters. Now these also do not have to be people. So I feel like encounter. What is an encounter in terms of like a place? It could be a square.
Or, it could be the gate.
Yeah.
The gate to come in.
Right. So an 8. The D8.
D8. So
that's a gate.
Starting down bottom.
Yep.
Well, that's why I thought of it, because I saw that there.
That's funny. That's hilarious. They're all over it. Yeah. They could be a square.
They could be another dock.
It could also be I keep saying bar because I love bars. It could be a dock. It could be maybe the portal scientists,
Mhm.
maybe a tower where a wizard's at. It can't be a palace because that's a deed. But it doesn't necessarily. The encounter doesn't necessarily have to be a person. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
These are all the locations and buildings. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. D10. Religion. Religious building. Some sort of church. Wow,
They're both next to each other.
Competing. So this one, I feel like we should separate.
No, I love it.
That's hilarious. So what if we separate them just a little bit?
They could be a shared wall.
It's like there's two doors. Pick one.
Dwarves and gnomes only.
Gnomes. And they meet the same day. It's not separate at the same time.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Or we could separate them.
Yeah, I feel like that might be.
Oh, I did the same color anyway.
That's okay. Don't hit erase all. Yeah. There you
Nope.
go. I did that once where I made a whole thing like this. And I accidentally hit erase all lines. But guys, the most important thing here to know is that the tabletop simulator allows you to go back steps, so you can how about red? You could do red.
I was gonna do blue.
Blue, perfect.
Do we want to separate them?
Yeah, let's separate them a little bit. Let's do here a random roll here. Let's do here. Let's do it over there. There you go. So what's the yellow? So that's an encounter. So that could be a weird religion where there's the big chapel, and then maybe that's the more popular one that has the chapel. There's a marketplace that sort of ties in. It feeds the church. It's money and all that stuff.
Or it's the sketch underground one who tries to draw the adventurers in.
And it could also be that the religion area is actually the holder of the portal to the underground. So you don't have to have it doesn't have to be that the trading is happening all at the squares.
The markets.
It could be that the trading. Remember, it's about knowledge. The trading of knowledge and religions is also important too. So that's why there's also a market right outside this one. And this other guy is probably pissed off, and there's going to be some sort of.
And the religions are far away from the government buildings.
Yes. And I promise you this, Chris. I promise you this. I will not go in there with any name for any religious or king or anything like that. I might have like NPCs that have names, but
we have one name, Dimly Axon.
Dimly Axon.
Yep. All right, so the government, the 12 was government buildings?
Yes, so these are like a mayor's mansion type thing. So maybe the castle's going to be...
it's black.
Yeah, maybe the castle will be toward... Yeah, maybe the castle will be further away from the markets. Maybe the one over here. That's the first. I would say that other than the, I think the Kraken being furthest away from the Kraken is probably.
Well, yeah. I was when I saw that there, I was like, yeah, they're built into the mountain, into this cliff face for protection, even more so.
But then they're going to be shielded by the. The crystal or technological advancements that they have. Or you could also have flying crafts that hover.
Think of Helm's Deep. This is like the mountain retreat to secure everything in, and then the town opens up to the town in front of it. So
this is the map. This is the general layout of Trigard.
I love it.
That's really cool. And then later on, what I'll do is I'll show everyone the power of. I just want to save this because it's dope. Trigard. I'll show everyone. I'll do it live too in a couple weeks. The power of tabletop simulator. Here, I'm going to go back to our normal thing and drop in the large, cool 3D because that's going to be really cool. So I feel like that's an interesting way to show how to technically world build as you're just mapping out the city. I do like how we decided to just do a capital city.
Why not?
To be brutally honest, I have visualized cities in my mind, and I have run them with you guys, like the trade port. We did it over online as we always play, and we did it on Tabletop Simulator. But I just had the fires burning and nothing visual. It was great, and I think that for cities in our game, everyone has their own way they use models. I like the OG. I'm leaning towards the OG D&D version of
maps, hand-drawn maps, slowly pulling you over to that side.
The one thing about the Tabletop Simulator is that it shows you everything. So it sort of leaves out the imagination. Now, my werewolf is going to be different from your werewolf. But if I were to drop a werewolf on the thing that I've loaded from a different game, that's our werewolf. And if you take that analysis and you apply it towards all things, I'm sort of limiting the power of D&D. But if you're smart enough and able to separate out the fact that we're using the tabletop as a table because you're in Florida and I'm in New York, and the next Trigard habitant who's going to be joining us in a couple weeks is going to be from California. Then I think it's safe to say that's fun. But yeah, I think for running cities, you don't really need much. You just need to play it here. Because remember when I ran that market, that was really fun.
It was
very
fun. Blast.
That was great.
You've run like small towns well before.
Yeah, I get
Lone
wrapped
Stars,
up in, like, the locations and the buildings and stuff.
That's what I like this technique that we used, because as we're just going through what the things are and seeing how they're grouped together, we're creating the entire atmosphere of what the city is, the interactions that can be created, even if we're not using them all for those individual die. That idea still can be in the city somewhere.
Yes.
And especially about being a city this big. Every crazy idea you think of probably will happen in the city.
And that's really, really cool. And I think that playing the city not visually just lets everyone do it in their mind. I think maybe I'll build out a couple places, like the castle. Maybe I'll have a visual where you guys can move the characters in the castle. But what do you think about traveling within the city? I feel like a random encounter table might be cool there too, but it's going to be heavily guarded by the city's Warforged. I feel like the city's Warforged is going to be.
I feel in a city
slaves. I feel like the deep gnomes are going to be able to communicate to the dwarves about the Underdark slavery situation, and they're going to have learned that slavery is not necessarily the best thing, and let's build these Warforged bots to be the slaves, and that will lead to an eventual story about how the Warforged bot becomes a person and realizes that, if someone wants to make that character.
Yeah. So for travel in the city, I think a nice way to do it is you give not having all these circles on there, but you give us essentially a map of the city with a couple little markers, and you can say have a key on there of like, this far is 1 hour walking, or 1 hour walking, or 5 minutes running.
I'm going to build out the city 3D-wise, dope and awesome looking. I'm going to take a screenshot of that, turn it black and white, crumple it on a piece of paper, scan it in at work, and I'm going to take a photo of that and send it to you guys. I'm like, this is the map you guys got. Give you an actual map of it.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so I feel like that was a good ending spot for the development of Trigard. Now, we're not done with it, but that is Actually, like technically, you could now play this.
Oh.
All the hooks are there. You got the people, the places. All you need is a couple. Now you need a good night's sleep, and you need to not think about it for a second, and then think about it. Now it's like the DM's like 20-minute rush to figure out what you're doing in the session type of thinking.
You just make a list of all these dice next to it, and you start going through and giving them names.
Not even. And remember,
give them a name or a description, or
they're all buildings.
Yeah.
Or locations. The encounter one is cool. I like that one.
Yeah.
Like the statue of, great, huge.
Yeah.
A ladder to the sky would be cool. With the sky, like just a ladder that just goes vertical. That's really cool. And then all of a sudden, an elephant's on it. Like
a spiral staircase.
Is the elephant going up or down? Maybe that's the
We'll
difference.
find out.
Maybe you have one church who thinks the elephant's going up, and the other church who thinks the elephant's coming down, and they both celebrate things opposite. Anyway,
We'll find out.
That's episode 11. I think that was really cool.
Mhm.
We're going to do that more.
That's good.
Stay tuned for an NPC. It's going to be cool. And I think, should it be Triguard related? Let's do a Triguard related guy.